Hey Hebrew fans! So Origins has been out for a little while now, and we're starting to get some of the figures in stores and online and other places, and it's kind of starting to get a lot of fun. So I thought, you know what? It's time for a fun video on quick ways to do customs with them and some of the figures that came out, and just kind of do a full compilation type situation. So let's go ahead and talk about these really cool figures that have come out. So first of all, this is how they come. Like here's an example of He-Man right here. You get him in a cool blister pack, and it has the old style of let me turn this light off for a second. There we go. This old style of card art where it has the exploding red rocks, and there's He-Man inside there with his armor on and his boots and his hands mangled because they're a little too tight. And then on the back it has some cool box art and then some instructions on how to stick the sword in his hand and how to move him like he's swashbuckling and fighting, and of course other figures in the line. So that's how these things came, and they are really, really cool. Now, one thing that I love about these figures that I keep talking about in all my videos is how interchangeable they are. So when they made these, they made them so they can be pulled apart and rebuilt in all different types of ways and shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this wrestling figure to kind of show you how this kind of works, and it's the exact same thing for the He-Man figures. In fact, you can mix these two together. So first of all, their boots come off, so you can take and remove their boots. And these boots right here work great for making a Filmation Beastman, maybe taking some acetone and cleaning off the question mark. If you heat them up, you can pull them apart here as well, and here in the knee. They also come apart here without any heat, so you can rip apart the waist. The arms come off as well, so you can swap out the arms. And of course the hands come off, which is really cool, so you can do some really fast customizations by throwing black gloves on somebody or some other hands very easily. Of course, all the accessories come off as well, like the armbands on him or the knee pads or anything else you can use. And of course the heads pop off too, so you can go ahead and do a head swap on all kinds of figures. In fact, this is not at all what this figure came like originally. In fact, I swapped the arms and the head on this figure because these were spare parts from other customs that I've already made. So let's go ahead and talk about some really cool quick swaps. So one thing that's fun to do is, like an example, it's like this Teela right here. She's actually one of my cool customs that I spent some time on, and a couple changes I made. You can kind of see the difference between these two Teelas, and I've talked about it before. One is I swapped out her head with the old 80s one. A little bit of fixing to do that, and you can watch my video on how to swap the head. But then also I changed her knees. Here's the original, and here's the new fixed knee. This took, of course, a little bit of sanding and work to get it that way. So not really a swap, but just some customs you can do. So an example of a swap is like this one right here, my 2000X He-Man. I took the 2000X He-Man toy, used his armor, his armbands, his waistband, took the head from the Classics Snake Armor He-Man, and then of course the weapons from the 2000X He-Man, and put it all together. Now these boots are not the best boots for him. I'm waiting till some figure comes out with nice dark brown boots to match. If one doesn't come out soon, I'm going to actually paint or dye these dark brown. So that's where we're at with that one. And of course, another fast one to make is something like this, where I've taken a wrestling figure and I took an old Fisto head and I altered it to fit. You can see here all the O-rings I stacked up inside it as I sanded it out, so it just pops right on there. So I can do quick swaps anytime I want to. Added a fist on here. Made sure I had the hands without the bands on them. And there you go. Just swapping parts around and making a figure work. Now another cool one with swap parts is this one right here. This was actually from The Rock. And I took the Rock action figure, took Super 7 Laughing He-Man head and Super 7 armor from the 5.5-inch figure, stuck it together. The loincloth from the original He-Man release. This is the wrong head for this, by the way. And just kind of, and the boots, and kind of made myself a Filmation Laughing He-Man. So you can kind of see it's kind of fun little throwback. So, and this one's going on eBay probably this weekend. And to follow suit, I made a Laughing Skeletor, and this is basically the Super 7 head, the 5.5-inch armor, 5.5-inch armor sword and bottom part, and also his Havoc staff, which I painted purple. And it's kind of annoying is the paint does chip off on here once in a while, and it's just something you got to live with. You can see it kind of got stuck in his hand. And And I even used super glue to coat it, thinking that would solve the problem, but it didn't. So if you happen to be the person who wins this on eBay, just beware that the actual Havoc staff, ouch, the paint could actually chip off the Havoc staff. Sorry about that. I'm kind of annoyed, but I probably should have sanded it first before I painted it. But other than that, he looks really cool, and I'm pretty happy with how he came out looking as a Filmation Laughing Skeletor. Let me turn that head light on. There we go. Now, one figure I was kind of a little bit annoyed with was I sold my Prince Adam from the 2-pack. I know. But when I sold him as a 2000X Custom He-Man. So I still had the vest left over. So I decided to remake him. So I took his armbands from He-Man and I painted them yellow instead of orange. And then to do that, I pulled the hands off, put a pre-coat on it, and then painted it up. Then I stole the loincloth actually from Man-at-Arms and the boots from Man-at-Arms to give it that darker look. You can see the difference in the coloring. So these are actually Man-at-Arms boots and loincloth. But what happens when you do these cool swaps like this, you're left with a figure that you may not want. If you can take a look, here's my Man-at-Arms. He's lost his boots, he's lost his loincloth, and he's slowly losing more parts. But he still looks cool. You know, I like the black boots that I gave him. And of course the orange still does match his orange on his armor. So it's not terrible, but it's just not the Man-at-Arms that you would buy in the store. Which is why I need to get more Man-at-Arms, because his boots are really cool and can be used on all kinds of figures. Poor Man-at-Arms. So I'll probably have a bunch of black booted Man-at-Arms. And then let's see, what else did I fix? Oh, so this is leftover part He-Man. He used to be The Rock. I cleaned off the words The Rock from his loincloth here, and basically stuck his arms and torso, everything else back on the Rock body, because of course it all pops apart. And so there you go. And this guy will also be going up on eBay. I'm not going to call him Spare Parts Man. I don't know what I'll call him, but if you guys have any ideas on what to call him, put it in the comments. Maybe I'll use it on my auction when I put him on there. So how cool is that? So you're probably wondering, why is Hebro making these figures and selling them? Well, I started thinking about all these figures and how cool they are and how fun they are. And it's like, you know, I really don't want to start a whole new collection. Classics is my thing. I'm having fun doing customs with these because they're so easy, and I'll keep a bunch for my grandkids to play with, kind of as fodder to make sure they don't mess with my classics. But in reality, I'm probably going to only keep maybe you know, less than 20 figures out of the new ones. So that's kind of my plan. Eventually I'll probably sell the majority of my Origins figures you see here, my cool customs and stuff. I will be keeping Battle Cat though, because I'm sure my grandson will probably love tossing Skeletor on Battle Cat. Okay, I'll probably have to get a Panther, huh? And it's kind of weird, he's got the Filmation eyes on there. Ooh. Anyway, so I just kind of wanted to show a quick synopsis video what I've been up to lately, kind of messing around with some customs. And of course, this is my latest one right here, which like I said, I was annoyed that I sold my other one. Now he is different because his skin color is actually the same color as the He-Man in the store, as opposed to being a lighter Prince Adam color. But I think it works pretty good. So there you go. And yeah, I probably will eventually break down and sell him too, even though I just made him. But, oh, and of course, my cool custom Orko that I made the stand for. Orko himself is just Loyal Subjects Orko, and I made a little stand for him so he can stand the same height as the Origins figures. So it's like he's flying around, he's part of the Origins team, and he's about the right height he should be, according to the cartoon. Now we know in the cartoon, of course, he changed sizes all the time, so just like Woody Woodpecker, he keeps changing sizes and isn't always the same. Alright, so that's all I have for Origins. As an update, I finished my Filmation Skeletor Classics. This is actually an old Classics body from the 2-pack with Molar, and I put all the Filmation stuff on him. So now I have a Filmation Skeletor. I used the Super 7 parts I left over from my 2000X Skeletor. And there is my cool Filmation Skeletor with Mattel parts. So he actually has a good Mattel body now, with just the armor and stuff from Super 7. So, how cool is that? There he is. And later, today or tomorrow, I'll be putting out a video of all my custom Skeletors. And I have a bunch of them. They're all going to be the Classics line. So check that out later, either today or tomorrow. And I'll have a huge extravaganza of Skeletor customs. Alright, you guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next video. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I look forward to showing you all my cool Skeletor customs. And just while you're wondering why Skeletor, Skeletor was my first figure. The first figure I got. I wanted He-Man first, but they were sold out. So I used to use him and have him walk around like he was some hulking guy. And at the time, I also got an E.T. action figure, and I'd stick my Skeletor armor on my E.T. figure. It was kind of fun when I was a kid. He'd mountain climb all over the couch. So Skeletor was my first figure, so that's why you sometimes hear me talk about the evils of He-Man and how Skeletor is misunderstood. And you can kind of see the reasoning behind it being Skeletor was my first figure. Alright, you guys. Thanks for watching. See you next video. And like, subscribe, tell your friends, and let's get this channel booming. Thanks, you guys. Bye.